Hello and welcome back to Dukasculpey TV. I'm Natalie MacDonald and you're joining us for yet another exclusive interview. In the studio with me now to discuss investing in renewable energy is Bjorn Martenson of Black Pearl Capital. Bjorn, thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so your career has seen a shift from electricity and lighting to energy-saving technology and now to investments in green energy at Black Pearl Capital. Firstly, can you share with us the ways in which this industry has changed throughout economic crisis and now into recovery?
I think for me personally, it's been the journey between the developing and the developed world. So having lived in the Middle East for a while and in Europe and Australia, things that we take for granted in Europe, for example, in Switzerland, you walk into a home and in the common area corridor, you push a button to turn the light on, it turns off after 30 seconds and it's been like that for 50 years. You know, in Dubai, you walk into a brand new building with the latest technology and the lights are on 24 hours a day. And how do you shift that from a government perspective with policies? How do you shift it from consumer perspectives? Having watched that process and seeing markets like Dubai maturing over time has been really fascinating.
Government agencies are really on this push towards green energy, renewable energy. Where for you have you seen geographically developments open up and therefore those investment pockets also?
I mean, for us, we have several investments in the Middle East, and the Middle East and Africa are certainly buzz areas for renewable energies right now. There's a lot of projects going on, a lot of focus from the governments in those areas. I think they're very popular for investors. The other areas that I would focus on is actually Asia. So whilst Asia maybe doesn't have the buzz for renewables, the recent IEA report released a couple of weeks ago shows that 2/3 of future world energy demand growth will come from Asia. So if you're not focusing on that area, I think you're going to miss out on a large slice of the cake.
And what challenges then are companies still facing? And similarly, what risk appetite does an investor need to have really to concentrate on this market?
I think again it's a question of the developing versus the developed world, that in the developing world you have government policies being implemented on a macro level but not necessarily on a user level. People are not recycling, people are not using energy efficient light bulbs in their own homes, whereas the governments in those countries are looking at utility scale developments that will improve their renewables portfolio. In terms of risk assessment, I think a lot of investors have made the mistake of betting on technology. So many investments come in on patents and what's the best thing that's going to replace oil. At Black Pearl Capital, we've taken more of a fundamental approach of a diverse portfolio. We look at the traditional oil and gas market with production technologies for oil and gas. We've looked at biodiesel in the UK with supply chains in Asia. And we've also looked at solar projects where we're technology agnostic. So we have a company in Jordan where we're investing in government projects where there'll be a feed-in tariff for solar and we will pick the best technology available at the time that the project goes live.
Black Pearl Capital has, to say that your renewable energy portfolio is vast would be a little bit of an understatement, and clearly reports are heading in the right direction. You mentioned the IEA report, renewable energy is set to become second in terms of energies. How do you see this market progressing then, say, over the next 5-year period?
Again, look, we're very positive over the next 5 years. We see strong performance already in our existing assets. It's a fundamental market that we will continue to look for investments in. But we look at each investment really on a micro level. Who are the people we're investing in? What are the fundamental advantages of a firm or of a specific deal? So as we progress, we'll look at a portfolio of energy assets. It'll include renewables, it'll include some technologies, but it'll also include fundamental oil and gas and fossil fuel sectors of the market. I mean, something as exciting as biodiesel, which we're already heavily invested in, truck traffic is outweighing growth of gasoline from cars. Diesel demand is going to grow 3 times faster than petrol demand in the future. So something like biodiesel is just fundamental factors that if you can produce for a market where the demand is really growing so strongly, you have a very safe and sound investment.
Bjorn, thank you very much for taking the time to come into the studio and share your thoughts with us.
Thank you very much also.
That's all we've got time for right now, but don't go away. The Dukascopy TV team will be back with plenty more FX analysis and exclusive interviews for you. Goodbye for now.